Christmas in Europe can be a wonderful experience. Many places have a special Christmas market that goes for about a month from late November right through December. In this special holiday presentation, we'll take you to the Christmas markets of Strasbourg, Colmar, and the wine villages of Alsace in the eastern part of France. We're visiting the Christmas market in Strasbourg, France.
We're standing right in the middle of Strasbourg in the Place de la Cathedral. It's a lively spot. We're here on a Monday morning in December. It's the time of the Christmas markets. Strasbourg claims to have the oldest Christmas markets in Europe. And they're getting set up here for the day. There's people out buzzing around. This is the high season in Strasbourg. Everybody flocks to the city to these wonderful Christmas markets. They're open every day throughout December, actually from late November.
They go back 450 years with this market, and it's been happening virtually every year since then. In recent years, it's gotten bigger and bigger, and they're open every day from late November through December, from 10 o'clock in the morning until about 8 o'clock at night. And you'll find all kinds of knickknacks, handcrafts, and all kinds of specially made items that you just won't find anywhere else. And lots of food for snacking, and the hot wine to warm you up. It is a little cold here, of course, at this time in December. You can expect the temperatures to be in the 30s and 40s Fahrenheit. But if you bundle up and wear your layers, you should be just fine. We're visiting here in December. That's a quite exciting time to be here in Strasbourg. It's really the high season because of this Christmas market. Strasbourg has not only the oldest Christmas market in Europe, it's one of the most popular. They have 2 million visitors during this 1 month period, many of them streaming in from Paris by that high-speed train. And so it can get crowded, especially on a weekend and more so in the evening. So if you love to look at people, then come on a weekend and hang around for the evening and you'll really enjoy it. Or on the other hand, if you'd like it a little bit less crowded, then visit during the weekday. It makes quite a difference. And especially if you come in the morning, say 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, everything is open at that hour. And there are always parts of town that are much quieter, getting away from the market squares. You just take a walk in the little back streets and you can have the town all to yourself. The Christmas market takes place in 11 different locations in the town, and there's over 300 different booths selling all sorts of merchandise. A lot of it is handmade. You've got the toys, you've got the goodies to eat, there's clothing, there's textiles, and so you really can explore the town quite extensively. And you might even take a look at the tourist information map that they provide. That will help you locate all of the various markets to make sure that you don't miss out on anything. And of course, all the shops are open as well, so the entire town comes to life during this season. The Tourist Information Office has a lot of practical advice for you, and they're conveniently located right on the Place de la Cathedral, right in front of the main cathedral square. They've got maps and brochures, and they have a special booklet all about Strasbourg, the capital of Christmas. As we look at more of the sights of town, let's share some information from the tourist information booklet about the Christmas market, where they tell us that it was in Strasbourg in 1570 that the very first edition of the oldest Christmas market in Europe took place. And since that time, Strasbourg has continued the tradition of authentic, warm, and generous Alsatian Christmas. And these are all the reasons why Strasbourg, the capital of Christmas, continues to enjoy repeated success. So not only was Strasbourg the site of the first Christmas market, also spread the idea of Christmas markets, which are now found throughout Europe and, in fact, throughout the world. The more time you spend just wandering around the town, perhaps aimlessly, just spending some time there, you'll have a better chance of running into some interesting events. Some odd things might happen right before your eyes that you wouldn't see if you were only in town for an hour or were on some kind of a strict time limitation. So it can really pay off to just simply stroll along and be aware of your surroundings and wait for those surprises to happen. You might even see Santa Claus riding by on a bicycle. Well, it's another advantage of spending a few days in Strasbourg, so you can focus most of your time in the Christmas market area, check out the cathedral, and then also venture into the actual downtown, the retail center, which is in the old town conveniently too. So it's very easy to get to these impressive streets. They're only 5 or 10 minutes away from the cathedral, so it makes for some nice variety as you're walking along. This street with the arcades is very impressive, and it gives you that nice, cozy, old-fashioned feeling of a medieval cloister or a loggia. It stretches right out from the main square in the heart of town, so you're sheltered from the elements. And next we travel from Strasbourg to Colmar, just 30 minutes away by train. And perhaps the nicest of all that we've ever seen is in Colmar, France, in the Alsace region in the eastern part of the country. Colmar is just a beautiful medieval town, and the market here is one of the liveliest, one of the most interesting. They've got ice skating, they've got the gift shops, they've got the crafts, the kiosks, canals running through town with beautiful lighting, especially at twilight. And we're going to show you in great detail how you can enjoy Colmar at Christmas time. It's located east of Paris, about 3 hours by high-speed train. So you get on a train, you might have to change at Strasbourg. There are some direct trains that'll bring you to Colmar, even by TGV, which is quite nice. You arrive at this grand old station. It's right on the edge of the old town, so it's easy walking. The town is simply perfect for a Christmas market, including Santa Claus. And Santa Claus will give you some treats if you've been a good boy. Get your picture taken with Santa Claus and his little donkey, his burro. Maybe do some horseback riding for the kids on the mechanical horses. Kind of like a big merry-go-round in an old-fashioned way. The families come out, the kids are here, and it's great for adults as well. There's terrific food items everywhere you look. Right in the heart of town, you have this main place that's lined with the kiosks. Come along with us as we stroll through the little market squares. There's stand after stand after stand. These have got handmade goods, things you can eat, clothing you can wear, toys you can buy for the kids. And you'll find it's mostly French people here in the marketplace, a lot of locals from town and from the immediately surrounding region, and of course a few tourists thrown into the mix, but it's very much a local experience. So let's just walk through and we'll give you a feeling for being there in the market in Colmar. Late November and throughout December are the perfect times to visit Colmar, as you can see with these wonderful Christmas markets, but don't hesitate to come at other times of the year as well. The buildings are always here and always beautiful, so whether it's spring or fall or the busy summer season, by all means you should put Colmar on your list of places to go. And you'll be sharing the town with many other people. The City Hall Square is one of the busiest spots. You've got a lot of the Christmas booths set up here. The main street runs through it, and look at the crowds. We're going to show you more of the special magical highlights of the Christmas markets of Colmar. And the main streets, of course, are open for shopping as well. The Dominican Church hosts one of the 5 markets. That's right, there's 5 different Christmas markets located right here in the small historic center of Colmar. You can get some great foods, the hot pretzels, and things for sale. You can get some candles, you'll get some Christmas decorations, Christmas stockings perhaps. Consider some of the textile products. The handmade tablecloths are ideal and easy to pack. They'll fit right in your suitcase and they don't weigh anything. All sorts of fun things. There's as many as 162 craft booths here. Many of the items are handmade and sold directly by the vendor themselves. It goes on for 6 weeks from mid-November right through the end of December. So you really can't miss this wonderful Colmar market when you're visiting France in December. It's one of the best. And there's a spiritual dimension to it. There's a historic dimension. You're surrounded by these very old buildings, and there's a very helpful Office of Tourism where you can pick up some brochures. You might even like to go ice skating, or at least watch some others skate around, gliding on that cold ice. Spend a night in Colmar. There's dozens of hotels that will put you up in all price ranges. The town center of Colmar is essentially pedestrian and comprises numerous architectural treasures, including monuments, churches, museums, and little alleys built for the most imposing folks from the Middle Ages through the 19th century. As you wander freely in this little historic town, you're going to bump into a canal and an old building and all sorts of fascinating sights. It was quite unusual to see this donkey walking through town, and this animal was just warm and intelligent, and he just seemed friendly as could be. He was being led along by his master as if he was a big dog. Sharpay?
Yeah.
This one here's a puppy, mama, papa. They love their animals and take them everywhere. I also love the candies that you can get. Maybe pick up some candles, real and battery powered. It really is a festive atmosphere during the day as well as right into the evening. And just wandering the streets is half of the pleasure of being here during this special Christmas period. The streets are illuminated, so it makes it even more festive at night. Back to Little Venice, which is fun during the day and even more breathtaking in the evening with this wonderful lighting. And then more crowded in the evening especially. Twilight, everybody comes out about 5 p.m. It's getting dark already. We're here in the month of December. There are 900 computer-driven light sources using a fiber optics cable network that are skillfully distributed throughout the town and allow an original light show which varies in intensity and color. Like a magic paintbrush, it redraws the town, applying fresh contours and new reliefs, enhancing 1,001 architectural details. Actually, the entire Old Town is a historic and protected area, largely dating back about 500 years, some of the buildings older, of course. And that completes our look at Colmar at Christmas time. And finally, we're taking you for a ride to the wine villages of Alsace to have a look at their Christmas markets and do a little shopping and wine tasting. We're visiting some beautiful, famous wine villages in the eastern part of France in Alsace during the Christmas season. Castles towering high over historic villages is a typical scene that you'll find here, and you'll enjoy the festive Christmas atmosphere. The vineyards of Alsace are located within that oval-shaped area, and we'll be visiting 3 of the best. It's an easy drive from the city of Colmar to Kaysersberg, Riquewihr, and Ribeauvillé. There are many more villages beyond this center, but we're doing it as a day trip rather than taking 2 weeks. Lady Liberty stands 12 meters high in the middle of a traffic circle because Bartholdi, the sculptor who created her, is from the city of Colmar. We're enjoying the day on a guided tour, and fairly soon our driver brings us to Kaysersberg, one of the typical picturesque old towns of Alsace. It's a very popular place to visit year-round, and especially during the weeks before Christmas. The market is going and everybody is out enjoying themselves.
It's mostly French people, many of them coming in from Paris for the visit. Also, lots of visitors from Germany, which is just 25 kilometers to the east across the Rhine River. Over the centuries, Germany and France have traded control over Alsace. Most recently, in the Prussian War in 1870, it was taken by Germany, and after World War I, returned to France, with some German town names such as Kaysersberg. Drinking mulled wine is an effective way to warm up a little bit. That spicy beverage with red wine, apple cider, cinnamon sticks, cloves, and orange rind. Nearly all of the action is concentrated on the main pedestrian lane of town, which is lined by historic buildings, many of them going back to the 15th and 16th centuries. After a couple of hours freely strolling through town, it's time to rejoin the group and continue on to the next site, which is going to be the town of Ribeauvillé. If you don't have your own car, there are various tours that you can take, as we did it, or there are public buses that will shuttle you from one village to the next. It's a picturesque setting with the old buildings and Christmas decor and a castle up on the hill. This town and the next we'll visit, Riquewihr, form a joint tourist promotion region that offers a lot of activities. There's wine tastings, there are hikes and walks out into the countryside. You can go bicycling around in the vineyards, or just relax and wander around these beautiful towns and do a little shopping. They say that wine was introduced to Alsace by the Greeks nearly 2,500 years ago, and still plays a major role in the local culture and economy. The tower is part of the original medieval wall that surrounded the village. The bakeries reflect the mix of cultures of German and French that we find here in the region, with a whole variety of delicious breads. Have you ever seen a loaf of bread this long? Baked fresh and brought to the shop to feed the huge amounts of people that are coming by today. Santa's helpers are quite busy in these 3 weeks that precede Christmas. A busy, joyful time of year. It's made in that German style with a thick crust and hearty whole wheat and some nuts inside. Ribeauvillé is a beautiful town, a standard stop on the tour of the wine villages, and then we're moving along to our next destination, passing endless vineyards along the way, now barren because it's December. But first we'll be stopping off at a castle up on the hill, the Haut-Kœnigsbourg Castle. It was renovated in the 19th century by the last German emperor, who wanted to make peace with the French, who were not very happy with the German occupation of Alsace. At the same time, he wanted to emphasize Alsace was the western edge of his German empire. He put in a lot of effort to rebuild the castle, then opening it to the public as a museum. And it stands today as one of the most popular tourist attractions in the country. Admission included in our day trip.
So you'll visit the residential area there, and then you'll cross a garden and you'll finish the visit with the Western Bastion over there.
Every good castle needs a well to provide water in case it's besieged by invading armies, as happened in the early 1600s when the Swedish attacked and burned the castle and looted it. For the next 2 centuries, it was left unused and in ruins. Now it's one of the most dramatic and popular castles in Europe. Moving along now to the final destination in our tour of these Alsatian wine villages, Riquewihr.
We are now in Riquewihr. There are in Riquewihr 46 historical monuments. To compare, in Colmar there's 55. That means that in this little village with only 1,200 inhabitants, there are nearly as many historical monuments as in Colmar. Among the villages of the wine route, it's the most beautiful one from an architectural point of view. That's why we call it the Pearl of the Vineyards. So there's lots of little stands, but look above a bit to see the houses and see the architecture.
Okay.
And that's the main street, so you can go up the main street and you'll arrive to the other extremity. It's not far away. You'll see the tower called the Dolder. It's the upper gate of the village. Bon, this is part of the fortification wall from 1291. That's also one of the oldest rampart in Alsace. And then you can come back, but don't hesitate to explore the little courtyards, the little streets to the right, to the left. You won't get lost, it's really small.
This is another one on the list of most beautiful villages of France, especially at Christmas time, where it seems to have the largest of the holiday markets in this region, drawing in the crowds. With lovely twilight of evening settling in, it's a good time to go and do some wine tasting. And there are many choices in this wine center. For a wine lover like myself, it's an exceptional treat to be able to step into a wine bar in the midst of one of the best wine-growing regions of France, especially for the white wines.
With little citrus, little mineral.
The white wine here less sweet than German wine, you say?
Well, yeah, because the German wine tend to be a little bit sweeter, but they are less high in alcohol. They're much lighter in terms of alcohol. They are 8 to 9 degrees. These ones are 13, 12 and a half, 13 degrees. Yes.
Because of the fertile grape-growing environment, Riquewihr prospered, particularly in the 16th century, by growing grapes and trading its famous wine all over Europe. This growing wealth produced an urban fabric that is quite dense, with houses built from the 15th to the 18th centuries that form an exceptionally rich architectural heritage. Wine production was well underway by the 8th century, and by the 14th century the vineyards had expanded to include all of today's vast acreage. The medieval wall with its gate and tower are very well preserved. Riquewihr is one of the few towns in the area not badly damaged by World War II. That completes our look at some wine villages in Alsace at Christmas, and we have more videos about the Christmas markets of France that you can find in our collection. We'll leave you now with a couple more minutes of the sounds and sights of Christmas in Strasbourg. We frequently upload new movies, so please subscribe to our channel and click that little alarm bell so you'll be notified. And if you enjoyed the movie, how about a thumbs up? And we always welcome comments down below. Or if you have questions about the destination, make note and we'll answer them. Thanks for watching.